Welcome to the discussion today. When it is Saturday, it is time for the conversation to start. And today, we are going to be talking about how to inspire young people to be able to engage in actions that can turn challenges to opportunities. And of course, it's about innovative volunteerism for climate action. And the discussion today, I'm going to continue where I ended last time with a special guest, Daniel Munang, who is going to be sharing perspectives on how we can inspire, especially young people, and how she's using her passion to do what is needed, and also how she actually apportion her time both for school and for actions that are actually aligning with her passion. And also share some nuggets on how young people can learn and practice some ideas to then be able to discover their purpose, leveraging on their passion to turn challenges to opportunities. Now with me in studio is Daniel Munang. Afu, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me on Innovative Volunteerism Voices once again.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to have you. And when you are here, we are always excited to have you because at least you have some ideas that I believe that young people who are watching this show, the Innovative Volunteerism Voices, the sport, as we call it, is a space in which a lot of people listen to and learn, and they get inspired by some of the actions that you carry out. So today, what's in store? You promised us a surprise last time, and so today, what is in store for us?
Today, whatever questions you throw at me regarding innovative volunteerism, passions, and what to do with school and managing them, I'll answer them. And just keep on expecting the unexpected because I don't know what questions you're gonna ask.
I like that. Expecting the unexpected. So you don't want me to unleash the cat out of the bag, as they say. So you mentioned passion. I think that a lot of young people who go to school across the world, and let me use the example of Africa, there is this mindset that they will need white collar jobs. Of course, that is something that will happen to some, but not everybody can have a white collar job. But the ability to be able to think out of the box sometimes, to know that at least if you don't have a white collar job, you can do something that can build a skill that later on help you build on that experience to even get a white collar job. But this narrative and this perspective is not really something that is part of the mainstream. So what would you say to young people your age, 13 years old, who are getting to high school now? What can they do to discover their passion?
I would say to join a bunch of clubs, join different societies and different events at your school or places around you may offer, because the way to find your passion is to try a lot of things and see what works best for you. So I believe by doing that, you'll be able to find your passion.
Yes, and sometimes people think that passion is a very heavy thing that needs to be um, taken from somewhere, but it's that flame internally that burns and gets you to wake up in the morning knowing that you are getting up to do something that can uh, advance your own ability to do things that touch other people's life, but at the same time also keeps you moving. So it's a fuel. So I usually say that passion is the fuel that drives one to do many things, and at the same time it is a new currency of now, because if you don't have passion, then there's really nothing that can be done. And I always say, give people every amount of money that they can imagine, whether trillions of US dollars, and if there is no passion in them, then nothing gets done. You throw money on passionless humans, it gets wasted and nothing gets done. And so this word passion today is really going to be our theme. So how did you discover your passion? I will go back to this. Yes, it's repetitive, but I'm asking this. How did you discover your passion? And what advice would you give a young person today who is watching this show on how they can discover their passion?
Thanks for the question. Like you said, you've asked me this earlier. However, I'd love to answer it again. So, how I found my passion was I first started off with art, and through that, I developed a passion in especially drawing stuff regarding to fashion. And then I took some opportunities around me to join a fashion and design tailoring schools to tune up my skills. And then from there, I realized that fashion and drawing and art is something I want to do. So I continued going to art school and going to fashion school throughout the summer break. And through that, I developed my passion for fashion illustration and fashion drawing and fashion. So for other people who'd like to find their passion, whether it's fashion or something else, they can do that by, like I said before, joining multiple clubs and finding what suits them and what's the best for them. So in conclusion, I'd say just join a whole bunch of things and then narrow it down from what interests you and then pursue that as your passion.
Yeah, a lot of people always talk about they cannot go to school and at the same time combine to do something extracurricular that will make them gain some experience. And these excuses, what excuses seems to become something very, very it's becoming part of the mainstream, and it's becoming something that is more demoralizing when it continuously get discussed. People give excuses. They give excuses when it doesn't rain, that it's not raining. When it's raining, they give excuses that it's raining too much. Instead of focusing to harvest the water and use the water for irrigation and use the water to be able to ensure that at least they can have it when there are no rains. So it seems like complaining and giving excuses is part and parcel of human attitude. What's your take on this?
I that's another interesting question. So what I would say to that question is that excuses are only one part of finding your passion. And if you go to school and find your passion, like I go to school and I did it during the summer. So whenever your school has breaks, I would say that you can find your passion through joining clubs regarding school and even outside of school, finding a balance between doing things that you like, doing things that are your passion, and doing schoolwork. So that schoolwork should be your priority. However, um, as it's your priority, you should be able to dive into other things like I did mine throughout the summer. And I'm sure that whenever your holidays are, you could join clubs, whether it's sports clubs, sports teams, um, fashion clubs, fashion classes, and just watching YouTube videos on the weekend could still help you advance your passion. So that's what I'd say.
Excellent. Actually, as we're speaking now, people are watching from Togo. We have Jack Andre Dion. He says, warm greeting from Lomé, Togo. We have Amadou, who is watching us from Mali. So you can see people are watching this show across different countries in the African continent and even across the world. So it's quite very, very exciting. Yes, that takes me now to the next point, which I think is an aspect that we need to really, we touched this a little bit last week. We are in a world of social media today. Yes, and social media have the good, the bad, and the ugly, especially for young people. It's a space in which they can make or break. It's a space in which they can learn. It's a space in which they can learn good attitude. They can learn good ideas. They can learn solutions that can actually help advance their ability to do things. But most of the time, they use social media. And I know that we discussed it a little bit last time, but I'm bringing it up again today so that we just break it down in a way that other people can understand. In your own view and perspective, as a young person with aspiration to devise solutions to challenges, do you think social media is leveraged as a tool to advance solutions by young people? And if not, why? And how can they actually to start to change their attitude, to start using social media as an opportunity?
Oh, thanks for the question. That's another curveball. So, like I said before, I think that it kind of depends on the person. Because social media is a very good platform, and I think that the youth had devised it in a way that you can use it for multiple different purposes, including finding your passion, then trying to look at opportunities and go from there. So I believe that it just depends. And for the youth that do not use social media to devise solutions and to develop opportunities and to look at different ways and read and stuff, I'd say to them that you could always just balance your time, compromise a bit instead of doing some stuff that don't really relate to your life. you could maybe find balance, because I know it's not 100% easy to quit, using social media, just scrolling through, not really developing any solutions to things. However, you could do both. You could find ways, for example, if you're into fashion like me, you could see like short videos on Instagram Reels on how to sew something and stuff like that, and YouTube and stuff. So I believe that you can do that while being able to find your passion and devise solutions. It's just all about balance. So that's what I'd say.
Yes, and it's all about balance. How are you handling school? How is school?
School's good. I'm handling school by devoting my passion to the weekends. So, and if I have homework on the weekend, then I just put my passion for another time, because school comes first. However, school isn't the excuse that I'm going to make for not doing my passion.
Excellent. That is good. Now over to you to this is a sport, and you may need some clarification, and also for our listeners out there. If you need clarifications, you can also ask me the same, questions, so that at least I can provide clarification. And then after I get back to you, we have about 10 minutes to run up the show. So over to you.
Okay. So one of my questions is, how do you use social media, and how does that affect your job?
Excellent question. Actually, as I have been saying, social media is an opportunity for each and everyone to leverage, to bring what they are doing to scale. What do I mean by that? A lot of people might never be reached by physical engagement, but most of the people are on social media. They are on Twitter, they're on Instagram, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn. And when you are able to share information on any of these social media platforms, a lot of people can start to learn on it. And when they learn an idea on it, they can start to do it. So my leveraging of social media has been about bringing what I do to scale and reaching so many people in so many parts of the world, which I might not be able to reach them physically. And so that then helped advance the work that we do, the work that I do, to be able to reach so many people, especially the young people. And that is part of innovative volunteerism, because most of the people have ideas, sometimes they don't share. And when you are not sharing ideas, it means that you are not really also contributing to society, because ideas transform societies. If you put money upfront without ideas, nothing works. When you bring ideas upfront, it then attracts resources. And so the world of ideas is a transformational world, and the only way for us to get those ideas out there is to leverage the spaces. Because today, traditional mainstream TV is just part of the medium in which communication happens. Social media actually is overtaking traditional mainstream TV, whereby now we are live, right? Through LinkedIn, Facebook, through YouTube, through Twitter, as we're speaking now. That it means the information can reach as many thousands and hundreds of people, and even million people, just through these platforms. And therefore, utilizing it for solutions rather than utilizing it for complaining is the best way to go.
So in short form, you basically use social media to spread your ideas and to promote opportunities.
Absolutely correct.
Okay, so those are all the questions I have for you today, and I asked the remaining ones a few weeks ago. So I pass it to you to ask whatever questions you may have.
Now, there are older people who are listening, and parenting is a full-time job, and there are parents or people with kids who are listening. What lessons have you learned from your parents that have actually reshaped you to be the best version of you?
One of the lessons I've learned from my parents is that balance is key. So that helped me a lot with innovative volunteerism and becoming a better version of myself, because I feel like without balance, I would have been focusing too much on my passion or too little. So I feel like learning the lesson that you can do both, just figure out which one's more important in the moment. I think that was one of the main lessons that helped me through innovative volunteerism.
Excellent. And for those who are all watching out there, please, if you have a question, to throw in that question, and then you'll be able to get an answer or a perspective to it. or a view to it. So in the next in the next 5 minutes, we'll be rounding up, but please drop your question here. Yes, we're living in a world today that is interconnected. And to the young people who are watching across the world and in Africa, what message do you have to tell them? What message do you have to tell them about school? What should they do in school? How can they make their studies relevant so that at least they can become solution providers?
So I personally believe what you study doesn't necessarily matter.
That's
So
correct. That point, important point. What you study doesn't necessarily matter. And let me just interject there. So my first degree was in physics and education. Then my passion was in environment. So I moved now, I did a master's in environmental science, then environment policy at the PhD. Just to solidify what you're saying, what you study doesn't really matter. It helps, gives you knowledge, but that knowledge can be applicable in different sectors. Proceed, Afu.
So, like I said, what you study doesn't necessarily matter. For example, if you study international relations, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to become a diplomat. Or if you study biology, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a biologist or an environmental scientist. So I believe it's the skill that you gain from the degree and the networking and the connections, which helps you out. So I believe to the people who are focusing too much about what they want to study, unless you have a straight career path that you'd like to go through, for example, like medicine, you can't really study anything else to be a doctor. So I feel like, or like engineering, you can't really study anything else to be an engineer. So I feel like within those situations, just study what you really like and study what will provide you with the skills to go into a field that you'd maybe want to be in, and to go from there and to pick something that you really like, because you don't want to go through 4 years dreading, and to pick something that, because a lot of people pick things that are quote unquote marketable. Like you can get a marketable degree but still not have a job, but you could have a degree that's less marketable and still get a better job due to your networking and due to having experience and hands-on opportunities and passion and stuff. So I just say pick what you like, and pick what you like, pick what you think is best for you, pick what you think you'd like to do, pick what you like, look at the future career options, look at the networking opportunities, at what's available to you. And I just say, just focus on yourself and focus on your studies and focus on your passion. And from there, I think life will come together for you.
Very good. Focus on yourself and focus on your passion. But there are some people who focus more on worrying about tomorrow rather than focusing on themselves today. So what would you tell such people? Because there are a lot of them. People worrying more about what they cannot control rather than focusing on what they can control. Like, for example, today is Saturday and it is morning time in other places and it is evening time in other places and afternoon in other places. People are sitting worrying about what tomorrow will bring rather than doing what they can do at the moment to then be able to get what they can get tomorrow. Because the truth is that you can only get what you can get tomorrow by doing something today. But most of the time, people sit complaining about tomorrow, doing nothing today, and then tomorrow still come, and then they'll complain about another tomorrow, and then they'll complain about another tomorrow. So months, years, and decades come and pass, and they're doing the same thing. That then means that the attitude of complaining is really, really bad. And given the fact that the attitude of complaining is really, really bad, and especially we are having young people in the world who are coming up with solutions and innovations, what do you think can actually be done, especially to the people who love complaining and blaming and saying that I will not do anything today because I'm thinking what will happen tomorrow, which is a kind of a run-of-the-mill mentality. It's what I call an autopilot mentality that hasn't helped on anything. What do you say to such people?
To those people, I'd say that it's good to think of the present and to focus about things you can control rather than things you cannot control. And to just, the Latin quote, carpe diem, seize the day. Just seize the day, focus on what you can control and do everything you can to conquer the day and to see what you can control and do everything in your power to change what you can control for the better, rather than focusing on what you cannot control. Because if you focus on what you cannot control, you won't have any progress, because you'll just be running after things that you can't really achieve, because that's for a different time. To just focus on what's now, because if you keep on saying I'll wait for another day, those days will come and you'll still be at stage one. So I believe that just seize the day and, in simple terms, just, find what you can control and work on it to devise solutions and opportunities.
Yeah, thanks for those perspectives. You have been to school in Kenya, you've been to Cameroon, and you've studied in Canada as well. There are people in other places who say, we don't have opportunities. And I really get tired hearing such words, we don't have opportunities. Because opportunities are created. And from what you are saying here is, when you spend time worrying about what you cannot control, worrying about tomorrow when you are not using the present moment in which you exist to do something, then definitely you are creating a problem for yourself, and the only person to blame is yourself. So in places where people say there are no opportunities, which you have been to, you have studied in as well, what can you tell those people listening to us today?
I could tell those people that, like you said earlier, opportunities are made and not handed to. So
I like
if
that. Opportunities are met and they are not given on a platter of gold. Good point, Afu. And just before you continue, I think Olu is saying great presentation and mentoring session. Yes, it is. Thank you very much, Olu. And thanks for tuning in to listen to this conversation. When it is Saturday, it is mentorship time. So whoever is watching. And then there is Aya Nange here who says, good job. She's from Com. So if you speak Com, then she's going to hear. And all those who are tuning in today, please. Yes, Afu, continue.
So like I was saying previously, opportunities are created and not handed to. So for the people throughout the world who are saying that there's no opportunities, you could find a problem that you're facing, which in your case I assume would be no opportunities, and find a way to devise a solution which would help create opportunities for not only you but other people. And this formula could be used throughout the world, whether you're in a developed country, a developing country, and especially it's important for developing countries, citizens to do that so that they could make a change in their community, which could impact their country and the world through finding and creating an opportunity for yourself rather than waiting. Because if you wait for an opportunity, like I mentioned in your other point, you're just going to be thinking about things you can't control, and you'll just, years and days are going to pass and you're still going to be at stage one complaining about not having opportunity. So in the simplest form, I could say that just create opportunities, find an issue within your community or your society which faces you regionally, locally, nationally, and find a way, a simple solution. It doesn't even have to be simple. Just find a solution that you believe would benefit others and hence benefit the environment. And then from that, you create opportunities not only for yourself, but for other people.
Right. Opportunities are created. And I think that's actually one of the big message out of this conversation. As others are calling it, yeah, it's a mentorship conversation with Daniela Fumbo Munang here. And if you think that opportunities are given, that is a false narrative. Opportunities are created. And to create opportunities, you need effort. What does it mean? It means you need to sacrifice your time. And the adage that goes, no pain, no gain, applies here. You cannot create an opportunity without sacrificing effort, without dedicating time, without reducing your number of sleep hours, without reducing your number of leisure hours. And so to succeed needs effort. To succeed needs dedication. To succeed needs passion. To succeed needs applying that purposeful passion to do something that goes beyond yourself and touches many other people's life. And then I feel there is this aspect where people, in addition to complaining and saying that I'm focusing on worrying about tomorrow rather than using the moment to do something, they're looking up to their aunties. They're looking up to their uncles. Oh, my well-to-do uncle is going to help me. And then there's always this word, help, help, help. Then the person is only expecting another person to help rather than doing something to help his or herself. What are your thoughts on this? And what do you think this is causing?
Because time is running up, I'm gonna do this as simple as you said. You kind of already answered the question by saying you should be able to find a solution to help yourself, which I completely agree with. But another thing is that opportunities, like I said, are created, not made. So if you're saying that this auntie is gonna help or uncle is gonna help, I think that that's kind of going against the formula of opportunities are made, not handed to. So if you're waiting for someone to consistently hand you something, why don't you take the time that you're waiting to find an opportunity to develop a solution to help yourself?
Right. And we still have about 5 minutes. I notice that there is a lot of interest in this conversation from the comments that I'm getting here. I think 5 minutes to the top of the hour. And please, if you have comments as you're watching, throw them in. You have questions, please throw them in so that at least we can be able to interact. When it is Saturday, it is mentorship time to aspire everybody, to inspire everybody to usher themselves to solution space. So the point again, opportunities are created, they are not given. Opportunities are created, and to create opportunities, we need dedication, we need passion. We need to move away from the mindset of complaining and blaming everybody to starting to ask ourselves, what are we useful for? And what can you as the individual do to start addressing the very problems and challenges that you complain about? So it's about mindset change, and that mindset change starts from your head first. If it doesn't start from yourself and you think that only people, because what I have learned is that 99% of what you need can only be done by you. People can only contribute 1%. And that 1% can be through inspiration, can be through mentorship, can be through guidance. But a lot of the time, people don't want to be guided, but they want things to be done. And somebody who cannot be guided cannot be mentored. What do you tell the young people out there who still believe that things need to be done to them? Yes, I know you answered that to an extent that they need to usher themselves to action and do what they need because opportunities are not given. But a lot of them still look at this and say, that is just talk. They will say in pidgin English, that one I just talk now. So wait till you tell them.
I'm gonna answer this in English because I think my point would get across there because my pidgin vocabulary is quite limited. So I'm gonna answer it in English. So
Yes, please.
Like I said previously, I would tell them that no, it's not just talk, and you can be able, there's live examples, and I believe that there's so many examples. Just look at all the innovative volunteers and all the Bafasa actors throughout the continent of Africa, and even throughout different continents throughout the world, South America, Asia, Europe. There's a bunch of innovative volunteers there, all the still turning challenges that they face regionally into an opportunity. And I believe that if you have to see it to believe it, so to see it, just go on Dr. Richard Munang's YouTube channel, LinkedIn, to see real life innovative volunteers and actors turning challenges into opportunities, which then help the environment.
Thank you very much, Afu, for that perspective. And I think this is the last question now before we get to the top of the half an hour, 30 minutes. This conversation was slated for 20 minutes, but because of the interest that has been shown through the comments, I extended it for the next 10 minutes. Now we have 2 minutes to go. What is your last word?
My last word to the viewers is to watch Dr. Richard Munang on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, because through that you'd be able to see the different, because if I keep on talking and keep on telling you about this, you're not going to be able to see it for yourself. Whereas if you click his YouTube or stream his videos, all his platform names are the same. So just search it up and then continue to watch the videos and to develop inspiration, because through that you could see different passions. And if you still have trouble picking a passion, you can watch it and develop passions. And even your passion could be talking, advocating for the environment, advocating for change to be done. And I believe that through watching videos and through using social media as a platform to create opportunities and to devise solutions, I believe that many more youth throughout the continent could be successful.
Excellent. So what should we expect in the next discussion?
I'm making this my catchphrase: expect the unexpected.
Expect the unexpected, so you say. And to all of you who are watching, thank you very much, Daniel, for those perspectives. We appreciate your time, and we'll continue to inspire and aspire to inspire others. And for those of you who are watching, it's a great pleasure having you. And please tune in next time so that we can continue on this mindset change mentorship, leveraging lessons learned from the ideas that we have actually tested, and also getting Daniel's perspective when you tune in. You are on the Innovative Volunteerism Spot. Until then, have a great afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are. Bye-bye for now.